Norse and Norse mythology, they are not adept. But Sarah, she will research, and Paul, he must accept. Yggdrasil is a glorious word, crush a whole mountain. Well, Thor's hammer could. These fables are bizarre, but good. It's
Stood.
Oh, today we got the little boys choir to sing for us.
You didn't recognize the tune?
Do it again.
Do 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 do.
No.
And I feel fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
it's the end of the
world.
the Norse as we know it.
It's the end of the Norse.
Which is very true.
Yeah. You know, I was in a store the other day and that was playing on the like in-store either the radio or if they had like sort of like a store soundtrack that they have to play. And I thought this feels appropriate.
Yeah, take it off. Take it off the list, Joanne's.
Yeah. Oh God, if Joanne's was open right now, you know I'd be there.
I know that's where you want to go down.
That's where I'll go down fighting.
Yeah.
With a pair of crimping shears in my hand.
Well, folks, this is Myth Understood, a Greek mythology and comedy educational podcast. Heavy on the comedy. I don't know about the education because I've been teaching Norse. And this is my final episode as your Norse teacher.
Wow, she's gonna cut it off right there. Just like the end.
Done. I quit.
Wow, okay.
I am Sarah Oliver. That there is Paul Bianchi.
That there is, yeah. And if you like us enough to continue to listen to this podcast, consider following us on social media. You can find the podcast itself at _mythunderstood. You can find Sarah at the Sarah Oliver. You can find me at the Paul Bianchi. And you can find Dragon Wagon Radio, the network as a whole, at It's Dragon Wagon.
You can find your head up your ass.
I can every day. I do.
So yes, as predicted, from episode 0 of Teaching Norse, Ragnarok was inevitable. It was foreseen. We knew this day would come.
Twas it?
Twas. The Norns, which are the little fates.
Okay.
That's who your daddy wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
Which he could still come on and do sometime.
Yeah.
Why not?
In the future.
In the future, the Norns have seen it to be so.
That's true.
So they told Odin, like, hey, buddy, the end is coming.
Mm-hmm.
And here's this certain amount of things that are going to happen. And then, you know that eventually, bye-bye gods, y'all going to die.
Bye-bye gods.
And so the death of Balder, which we discussed, is one of them. And the other foreseen thing was Fimbulwinter. Fimbulwinter will come.
Fimbulwinter. How's that spelled?
Sound it out. Fimbulwinter.
Fimble winter?
Close. Bul winter.
Bul. Okay.
Fimbulwinter.
Okay.
So that is basically Game of Thrones Winter is Coming, where it lasts for like years. A winter that never stops.
That sounds fine right now.
We're in an emotional winter, aren't we?
Yeah.
When will spring come? When will we bloom? So it's basically like, let's just say a 3-year-long winter.
Okay.
Unending. And they're like, then.
Wait, did you say unending after 3 years?
Unending 3 years, exactly.
Okay, great.
Well, basically unending because the end of the world.
Okay.
So
3 years of winter and then nothingness.
There you go.
Okay.
Which is emotionally where I feel we are. The nothingness. So it's not just the end of mankind, but the end of gods themselves and all things on earth. And in the end, which every religion loves, and a nice old end of time, there will be a battle of essentially good and evil. But as we've seen, there's some gray areas. Like, were the giants that bad? Were the gods that great?
I'm sort of excited. Now, if I get this wrong, please someone tell me that this is wrong. But My understanding is that biblically, that in the book of Revelations, there's a giant snake sea monster named Leviathan, and that it is foretold that people will feast upon Leviathan.
They eat a snake?
People eat this giant sea serpent. So
Wait, what?
Yeah.
In the Bible?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
I very much remember that. And so I will say, if anyone's listening that like knows the Bible really well, please tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah, that's some crazy shit. Well, we have a snake in our story too, so
yeah, that was the correlation I was trying to draw.
Actually, yes, it is 3 years of winter. It says exactly. And during those 3 years, everybody's fighting Game of Thrones style again.
Okay,
everybody's fighting, and it's kind of like a civil war of sorts. Also very biblical.
Mm-hmm.
And the third and final sign that the end of the world is coming. It's kind of a big one. There's going to be 2 wolves in the sky, and they swallow the sun and the moon.
Romulus and Remus make it a comeback.
And then the world disappears into a vast darkness.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. But those aren't the only animals that have a little play in Ragnarok. We got some roosters.
Roosters?
Mm-hmm.
A couple of cocks.
Yep, some red cocks.
Okay.
One named Filar, and his name means all knower. So
Okay.
he's a little know-it-all cock.
Okay.
He's a Chad. So he's gonna warn. He's in the land of the giants, and he's gonna let them know. Cock-a-doodle-da! Get the war is here.
Okay.
Get your guns. And then down in the underworld.
I'm sorry. Did you say cockle-doddle-da?
Cockle-doodle-doo.
Okay.
Cockle-doddle. Don't you be doddle-a-dot.
I was gonna say it's like Arrested Development over here. Like
Yeah.
I was like, have you ever heard?
So Hell,
Uh,
she also has, a rooster. Duh. Everyone has the rooster. It's like an alarm clock.
and God bless Kate Blanchett, because every time you mention Hell's name, I just see like a really badass looking woman.
I don't see her Kate Blanchett. I see her as like Aubrey Plaza personally.
Really? Just behaviorally?
Yeah, just
Okay.
like whatever. But kind of cute,
Mhm.
Not that Kate Blanchett isn't cute, but
Yeah. I mean,
she's more like striking.
Yeah, she's strikingly beautiful.
Yeah.
Whereas,
Aubrey Plaza's half of her face is rotting.
wow. Okay.
No, I mean that's what Hell is. So
Okay.
Aubrey Plaza's gorgeous.
Sarah's personal definition of hell is Aubrey Plaza with half her face rotting.
Yeah. So there's a rooster in the underworld screaming, "Hey, all you lame people that died of sickness, you guys need to get up and fight too. Come on."
All right, yeah, let's go.
And then one last rooster.
Are we still sick? Like we died of sickness, and then we're
Yeah. You're gonna get wiped out first, but Pond's in the front.
All right.
And then Asgard, they have a fancy little rooster. His name is Gullinkambi.
Wait, how many roosters is this so far? 3. Okay.
Just three roosters. And he's gonna tell the gods, but also the gods have one more person who's gonna be like,
This is a lot of responsibility for these roosters.
no, they love it.
Yeah.
Because usually, when a rooster crows, people scream at him, but this time they're like, "Oh, we gotta live with this rooster.
Yeah. Well,
This is a rooster's dream."
do you remember in Greek mythology that the boy who was turned into a rooster, that was like punishment. He became the first rooster out of punishment. So it's sort of like a
Athena did that.
It's not it wasn't Athena. It was Ares.
Idea. It was her idea.
Probably. But like, so there's sort of like roosters are not put on any sort of pedestal.
Because they make annoying noises.
Yeah.
So nobody likes it.
But
this annoying noise is like
Serving a
pre-foghorns. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, we have Heimdall, remember the guardian of the Bifrost Rainbow.
Yes.
So he has a fancy little trumpet, and he plays a specific tone, basically like dog whistle style.
How little is this fancy little trumpet?
I think it's on a necklace.
It's on a necklace?
No, I don't know. But that tone can be heard in Valhalla, the land of the glorious that have fought and fallen in combat. And he brings them back to life. And they are going to march. And everyone is marching to meet on this battleground called Vigrid. And it's where, I guess it's been predestined. Like, this is where the final battle is going to happen.
Mm.
And it's the end of the game battle. You know, this is the...
Angela, you're never going to guess what's happened to that lot that you've been trying to sell for real estate.
Why? Do I have a buyer?
I'm just saying the property value of Vigrid is going to go down because there's going to be a giant world-ending battle taking place on it.
No, I knew I should have sold. I should have sold a year ago. To that one guy who wanted to build a house with just 4 doors. And I was like, I care about this property.
Yeah.
Your house is stupid.
Mm-hmm.
But now, that's just the real estate market. It goes up and down. I'll try after the apocalypse. So, this is the last fucking battle. So, like, everybody is meeting. Everybody that has ever lived and is currently living. They're there. And it's the fight to the end.
Because he did the fart sound effect before they're there. To me, that's the sound of, like, the teleportation that they make when they arrive there. Yeah.
So the gods, even, remember Balder and his blind brother Hod, they come back from the dead to fight among their brothers and sisters. Finally.
Okay, great.
Odin...
Was Balder, like, so bored until then?
I mean, he's pretty popular, though.
Yeah.
Like, even in Hell was like, I'll only give you back if everybody wants them, because she had, like, a special spot at the table, remember?
Right.
She's kind of excited.
Because Balder didn't get to go to Valhalla.
Wait, why did he even?
Maybe because he didn't die in battle?
He didn't die in battle.
Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah. Aw. So Odin rode in his 7-legged horse. Is it 7 or 8? It's 8-legged. I don't know why.
Did it lose a leg?
And he had his little eagle helmet equipped and his spear, Gungnir, in his hand. And he,
Wait, so I'm still... So they're riding into battle, but who are they fighting against?
Each other.
Wait, who's each other?
It's gods and humans. It's basically Asgard and Midgard versus the land of the giants, the land of the dead.
Okay.
Yes.
And I guess because I was editorializing so much, I missed why are the land of the dead and the giants deciding right now to fight them?
It's in the prophecy. There's the long winters.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not like in response to anything. It's not like you
It's been like years of this long winter, and I feel like almost all of mankind has thinned itself out from inner fighting, and so it's just like, rise the dead and have this giant battle.
Okay.
Because even Odin, when he hears that it's time, he talks. Remember that floating head?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he's like, okay, should I do this battle?
Wait.
Oh, wise floating head. Because I know it means the end of times, and it's like, you have to.
Doesn't that floating head, though, come back with his full body because of everything that's happening with, like, the dead rising?
There's no proof of that.
No. Okay.
No, he's like, well, should I do this battle? And the floating head is like, well, why are you asking me? I don't even have a body.
Yeah.
Go.
And he's trying to respond, but, like, layers of clothes are actually piled on top of him.
But also, like, there is no not fighting. Like, the wolves rose and ate the sun, you know? Like, it's all darkness.
So all of these things already happened.
These already have happened, and now
they're fighting.
They're coming to meet on the battlegrounds.
In total darkness.
In total darkness. Well, I'm sure they have, like, cool
Lanterns.
little torches. You know?
Yeah.
Again, I feel like Game of Thrones borrowed from it, right? When wasn't it?
Oh,
pitch
I'm
black?
sure. Yeah.
Pitch black. So they all meet up on, the Super Bowl of Fights arena.
Mm-hmm.
Now the giants with Hel, and all of her dead, they sail on a ship called Naglfar, which is made of dead people's fingernails.
Oh, I saw that video.
No, you didn't.
I saw a video on Instagram of someone making an engagement ring out of fingernails.
No, you didn't.
Yes.
don't know what to believe anymore, Paul. I feel like the world is this way.
He ground fingernails. This is really gross.
No, this is real.
Yes. And then he
I thought this was a joke.
basically turned it into a resin and molded it into a diamond. And
Does
that's
he
how
tell her?
diamond. No, there's no engagement in it. That'd be silly.
He's like, no one's gonna marry me. I grind him fingernails, but just to be safe. So yeah, I'm sure that guy is on
that
this
how
boat.
is that how they made the boat?
Yeah, I guess if you die from a cold, they rip your nails off. No.
That'd have to be so many nails.
It's a boat because giants are on it. It's a giant boat.
What a weird detail. I'm angry about this
I know.
detail. It's too much.
And then
Also, why is Hel working with the giants?
well, because somebody broke himself free and he's leading the army of the dead.
Loki's leading.
Loki broke free.
And he and Hel are friends?
It's his daughter.
Okay, but she's she's loyal to him?
I mean, she's like, okay, we'll fight. All right, here's my dead. And also remember the dragon, Nidhugg. He comes over the battlefield and he's grabbing all the corpses he can because he's insatiably hungry.
Does he breathe regular fire or blue fire?
Purple.
Purple fire. Ooh, the Mace Windu of dragons.
And then the mighty Midgard serpent, Thor's mortal enemy, comes out of the sea. And when he splashes his tail, it's like a little mace canister of poison.
A little mace canister?
A giant mace canister.
I mean, because he's... Is it bigger or smaller than the trumpet that Heimdall plays?
Oh, everything is.
Okay.
It's bigger. And then the fire giant Surtur, he sets Asgard and the Rainbow Bridge Bifrost on fire. So Asgard is destroyed.
Oh, so he single-handedly does that?
Yeah.
Surtur.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a bad boy.
How do you spell Surtur?
Surtr.
Oh, Surtur.
Surt. Could just be Surt.
Mm-hmm.
So he kills the gods' home. They have no home to return to, which doesn't matter anyway. And the Rainbow Bridge is destroyed.
Mm.
You remember Fenrir the wolf who bit off Tyr's arm?
Yes.
And was chained? He breaks his bind.
Uh-huh.
And just like his daddy. And he runs around. He opens his jaw so wide that he consumes literally everything that is in his path.
Oh, everything that's in his path, but not everything.
No, he's like a forklift of pain.
Or those the big dog / cannonballs that are in Mario Kart that move along Rainbow Road.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's him. He's that little bullet thing.
Mm-hmm.
So the wolves that eat the sun and the moon, their name are Skull and Hati, and the greatest casualty of all is our dear tree, Yggdrasil. It shakes so hard that every tree in the world falls over and dies, and Yggdrasil itself dies.
Oh, that's really sad.
I know. It's very sad.
What does that squirrel do then?
I don't know.
The squirrel fucks off?
He's probably fine.
Okay.
Of all things, he's fine. So
isn't there a giant deer too?
Yeah. Basically all the other worlds kind of die except 2.
Okay.
Yeah. So Odin and his Valhalla buddies, they fight. They fight the good fight. It's the most epic, amazing thing Taika Waititi has ever directed.
Great. Okay.
Yeah. It's fun. It's colorful.
Mm-hmm.
It's fancy. But still, of course, they fail. Fenrir swallows Odin. They fight, but he swallows Odin and
just like the prophecy said.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And eats a lot of his fighters as well. But one of Odin's son named Vidar, he's super pissed off.
Wait, does Odin die when he gets swallowed?
Yes, he dies.
He dies immediately when he gets swallowed?
Yeah. It's very acidic in a wolf.
Okay.
So Vidar, his son, is like, oh, it's vengeance time. And he...
I ate your dad.
Yeah. Well, guess what? I got a crazy shoe on.
How crazy?
I got all the leftover leather scraps of anything ever made in the world with leather, and I made a boot.
Oh, does it have is it red underneath for some reason?
Yep.
Oh, that's really classy.
So he charges at the wolf, and he takes this shoe that's been crafted for this very reason, because again, they know how things are going to go. And all of the discarded leather pieces ever. And so it's a giant weird shoe. It's like a big clown shoe on one foot, apparently. And he uses it to hold open Fenrir's mouth. He can't close on all this leather for some reason. He can eat fucking trees and boulders, but
well, this is
leather.
This is every piece of leather
ever discarded. And then once his mouth is like stupid, stuck like a cartoon, Vidar stabs the wolf's throat and kills him.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
He probably hits Odin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Odin might have been fine being swallowed, and then he kills his dad as he stabs through the throat.
Yeah, he's like, thanks.
Yeah.
And then Loki, who has obviously turned on his old friends, he fights the guy that he didn't get along with the most, and it was also prophesized they would kill each other, Heimdall.
Uh-huh.
Tyr, our one-handed friend.
Oh, what about that battle though? Is that like that in a nutshell?
Yeah.
Oh, so they don't say how?
Should I open my Neil Gaiman?
Sure.
Let us see. Catch everything.
Is it like do they have weapons when they're fighting?
Yeah,
or
everyone has weapons.
They're not just like karate chopping each other?
These guys are definitely karate chopping each other.
Okay.
So in Neil Gaiman's book, this is the one that everyone needs to read. Yeah, it also says he steers the toenail ship. That's really cute.
Wait, who steers it?
Loki.
Oh, Loki
must have like a toenail steering wheel.
Yeah. It's really gross.
It's very gross. All right. Tree. They got to the tree there.
I'm also imagining the sails made out of it, which probably doesn't make a lot of sense.
The sails made out of toenails?
Yeah.
No, that's made out of pubic hair.
Oh.
Okay.
I mean, probably accurate.
But remember how Njord, it was fated that he would die.
No, I don't.
He gave away that sword that fights for itself.
Right.
To get his wife.
Mm-hmm.
And the giant who like torched all of the Asgard uses that sword against him.
And kills him.
So yes, here is from Ragnarok, the final destiny of the god. Shall I read an excerpt of how Loki and Heimdall?
Yes.
This is Neil Gaiman's book. Okay, so Heimdall, the watcher on the bridge, the gatekeeper of the gods, will also not have fallen yet. It's Loki and him having a showdown. He will stand on the battlefield, his sword, Holfud, wet and bloody in his hand. They walk towards each other across Vidgrid, treading on corpses, wading through blood and flames to reach each other. Isn't this a great book?
Yeah.
Ah, Loki will say, the muddy-backed watchmen of the gods. You woke the gods too late, Heimdall. Was it not delightful to watch them die one by one? Loki will watch Heimdall's face, looking for weakness, looking for emotion, but Heimdall will remain impassive. Nothing to say, Heimdall, of the 9 mothers. When I was bound beneath the ground with the serpent's poison dripping onto my face, the poor Sig standing beside me trying to catch what venom she could in her bowl, bound in the darkness, in the intestines of my son, all that kept me from madness was thinking of this moment, rehearsing it in my mind, imagining the days when my beautiful children and I would end the times of the gods and end the world. Heimdall will say nothing, but he will strike, and strike hard. His sword crashing against Loki's armor, and Loki will counter, and Loki will attack with fierceness and intelligence and glee. As they fight, they will remember at a time they battled long ago when the world was simpler. They had fought in animal form, transformed into seals, competing to obtain the necklace of the Brisings. Loki had stolen it from Freya at Odin's request, and Heimdall had retrieved it. Loki never forgets an insult. They will fight and slash and stab and hack at each other. They will fight and they will fall. Heimdall and Loki fall beside each other, each mortally wounded.
Hey.
It is done, whispers Loki, dying on the battlefield. I won. But Heimdall will grin then, in death, grin, golden teeth flecked with spittle and blood. I can see further than you. And I'm not going to get to that yet.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, this is a great book. And he basically, like, I read that book first, and then you try to pull from everything online and combine it in a way, but he definitely, adds really fun, beautiful dialogue.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to read that book. So that is how they die, which otherwise stated on several places online, they just go, they kill each other.
Okay, great.
So Tyr, the one-armed Tyr, he fights a watchdog named Garm, the one who is like Hell's puppy, and they kill each other.
Okay.
Which is sad. Now Thor
and Garm says, I have won.
And Tyr's like, I have no arms now. Thor will fight the Midgard serpent finally and kill it, but he's left with so many poisonous wounds he himself dies as well.
Oh.
I know. And Freyr, of course, killed by the giant that with the sword he got for his wife. And Sutter, the pyromaniac giant, he sets all 9 worlds on fire and everything sinks into a boiling sea.
Oh.
Yeah. There's nothing.
What happens to the ladies?
Thank you so much for asking.
Okay.
What a nice question. Female goddesses not mentioned.
Female goddesses not mentioned in the final battle.
What about Freya? What about Hel, who was co-captain of the fingernail boat?
What a way to put that. That's her legacy.
Yeah.
What about
we know what happens to
the
Hel's
woman
dog
of the ocean who
Ran?
Ran, yeah.
Mm-hmm. We know what happens to Hel's dog.
Mm.
We don't know what happens to anyone's wife. We don't even know Loki's wife, Sig.
Mm-hmm.
We have no idea who fought and who fought, who died. Assume just they all died.
Yeah.
It's really not mentioned. And all of this stuff was created by men.
Yeah.
And the women served their little purposes, and they weren't really that interested in even the divine females, what their fates were.
That's interesting to me because I encounter Norse mythology with my only frame of reference being Greek, basically, to compare it to, and even during the Titanomachy, like Athena battled, Artemis battled. These are things that there are myths about. What I can
guarantee you are Freya's cats are fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't. It's sad because we will even get into which gods survived, and they aren't even listed there. So.
Oh, so some gods survive
Yeah.
the entire destruction of everything.
Just you wait and see, little
right.
honey bunny. So, as predicted, the end of times have come. Mankind, everything in the Norse cosmos is annihilated. Like I said, boiling sea. The sun is black. And basically, yeah, man, dwarf, elf, female goddesses are all gone.
Mm-hmm.
But the point of Ragnarok is with every ending, we have a beginning. So in Yggdrasil, it's a dead tree.
Yeah.
But it's still existing. It's still there. A man and a woman hid, shelter in the tree.
Mm.
And as the world resurfaces, the gods that are still alive get together and like, oh hey, that was fucking nuts. Did you guys have to share a raft?
Yeah.
A boiling raft. Yeah.
Yeah, that was really difficult. My wife actually tried to share this door that was large enough to hold both of us, but I said no. So she sank to the bottom. I don't know where a lot of the women went actually.
Yeah, well, who cares?
Yeah.
It's bro time.
Yeah.
It's bro o'clock.
Let's bro down.
Yeah. So, as the world comes back, it is beautiful and it is green, for it has been fed a lot of boiling water, and that is how any green thumb knows.
Well, ash. People know ash does contribute to soil growth.
So, a woman named Lif
Uh-huh.
and a man named Lifrazer, the ones that were sheltered in dead old Yggdrasil, they come out and they get to fucking. They're essentially an Adam and Eve of this story.
Okay.
Yeah. So they repopulate.
What's the deal with Lif? I thought this was bro time.
Yeah, let's go to a different place, and they do. So Asgard is gone.
Mm-hmm.
But they find a new little place to exist as the remaining gods. So we have Odin's son Vidar, Mr. Shoeboy, and his son Vali, and his brother Honir. And Thor has two sons that survive, Modi and Magni, and they get their dad's hammer, which is not only a weapon. Remember, it's used for like weddings and sanctifying things.
It's also it's a whisk.
Exactly. Like
it slices,
burials.
it dices.
So the fact that they lived on, one of the beliefs that the Vikings had is that the souls of your ancestors kind of remained in you. So it's like, oh, Thor and Odin are gone, but in a sense they are still here protecting us because their souls live on in their spawn who are
because if there's one thing that Odin did, it was protect us.
Exactly. Odin loved us. He loved us dying. Odin loved us dying.
Yeah.
And so the sun, Sol, goddess of the sun, she was eaten by a wolf. Whoops. But she had a daughter, and her daughter took over her job of, I guess, being the sun.
Okay.
So we have a sun again, and yeah, these gods lived on, and this is the future that Heimdall could see past what Loki could see, that hey, yeah, like the end is here and this world is ending, but I see further, and I see life, and I see
two people having sex so much that they repopulate.
And he died watching that porno on repeat. And this is the story of Ragnarok. Has it already happened? Is it happening now? Who's to say? But it was an important story to Vikings because, like we have talked about so many times, they died quite violently and abruptly, and it was a life of loss, and it was a life of really brutal winters or really, wild summers, and
and the people they died abruptly, and if they were a jerk, they would chop off their heads and shove it up their butt and bury them in the ground. That's the thing I'll remember the most about the Norse.
And so you told me I had to give you a quiz, so I just wrote one in my phone. Let's see.
Okay.
Okay. Who's the best Norse god?
Who's is this an opinion thing or just like
No, there's a right answer.
Is it Balder?
No.
Is it Freya?
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Who has the best Norse animals?
Is it Freya?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who has the coolest dwarf gift?
Is this also Freya?
No, she just has like a gold chain.
The coolest dwarf gift.
Can you remember the things that the dwarves made the gods?
Yeah.
Now I'm getting into like real test territory.
Wasn't there like a boat that you could fold up and put in your pocket?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think that's the best one.
That's
it's
the
not
one.
made of fingernails. Think about it.
Yeah, it was pretty cool that it was just you could fold it up and you put it in your pocket. Like I would really love if I could fold it up and put it in my pocket and not have to worry about parking it. That'd
You
be
think
awesome.
it's better than Thor's hammer?
Yeah.
You think it's better than Sif's new hair?
Yeah. Yeah, but who was given the boat that you can fold up and put in your pocket? Was it Odin?
Oh, I think it was Njord.
Njord?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's my answer.
And then they also made the
That is
ring.
my answer.
Oh, fuck me. Who had the coolest costume accessory?
Oh, that was Freya for sure.
I know, right? The hawk thing.
The hawk coat that you could fly with, yeah.
Mm-hmm. That was fucking tight. Who had the worst face?
Who had the worst face? Probably Hel,
Yeah.
because half of it was rotting.
Which giant was Thor the meanest to for no reason?
Oh, I forgot her name, but wasn't it the or was this not Thor? There was the poor girl that someone made her fall in love with him.
Oh,
and
Odin did that.
Odin did that.
He would spent 3 full days and nights with this girl and was like, I never liked you.
Yeah.
Psych. It was a prank the whole time.
The one that Thor was the meanest to.
I think it's the dude he took fishing. He's like, let's go fishing. And he's like,
oh, that guy
fuck
who
you.
we took advantage of. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that guy being a giant.
He was a giant.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm. He was real mean to him. Who would you marry?
Who would I marry?
Yeah.
In Norse mythology.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
I'd marry the squirrel.
You'd marry the squirrel? Maybe, probably Balder. Everyone said he was the best.
Oh yeah, he is the best. Wait.
or Ran. I sort of she seems.
I think she's kind of fun.
Yeah.
She's got to be great in a sack.
Yeah.
She's crazy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, even I think they Ayer seems cool too. He's just do you want to throw another party tonight, babe?
Yeah.
I love that.
They seem like they've got a really healthy relationship.
Yeah, he lets her do her thing.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
I'd throuple with them.
I'd thruple. And then you'd get throttled and drowned.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But what a way to go.
Do you have any favorite Norse myths that we've talked about?
Let's see here. Favorite's a strong word. I think the bird diarrhea sort of stands out, but I don't think that's my favorite.
The bird diarrhea?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
I just want to say it again.
Okay.
The meat of poetry.
The meat of poetry.
And we see bird diarrhea every day.
That's true.
My Netflix queue is full of it.
Is it?
Bad art?
Your Netflix?
Not my queue, but Netflix in general.
Oh, okay.
It's like a half.
Yeah.
Half mead, half diarrhea.
I really think that I do like that classic Norse myth that I've just heard before, though, with God Loki and the lift this up, but it's
the little trickies.
Yeah, the little tricks.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't pick
yeah,
up,
it's
can't
kind of
pick up
harmless.
this cat. Yeah.
It's harmless. And remarkably no one dies.
Mm-hmm.
Even though Thor is swinging his hammer left and right, trying to murder giants sleeping.
Yeah.
He's like, he's loud.
I felt like a lot of the myths in general reminded me of, I remember in Greek mythology, I told you that story of Hermes and Zeus going down to this town and sort of deciding the fate of the town that was not following the Xenia. But it felt like a very one-off adventure of father and son having fun and getting fed by some people and using disguises and then just drowning everyone and having a good chuckle at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like that was a lot of the myths in Norse mythology was just it's so, my mouth always wants to say North instead of Norse.
You're correct. It's up there.
Yeah, it's very up there.
It's real cold.
But I feel like that's sort of what I found to be a common thread is it's just if I imagine ancient peoples hanging out around the fire and telling these stories, I feel like it's like that kid that you're babysitting that just like won't go to sleep, that keeps asking, and then what happened? Like they feel very much like that. Like it's not modern 3-act story structures.
No, it's like, this is what it's like to be a man, and to know that the gods have created these things, but also when your brother died because he was 8 years old, this is why.
Yeah.
Gods don't really like us. Yeah, they definitely more like feared and used them to explain hardships than I feel like we're like, and that's a silly little lesson.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I did appreciate. I know in the beginning you're just like, what the fuck is this tree? What do you mean 9 worlds? And it is one of those things where I feel like people know of it, but it's not as popularized as Greek. So like Neil Gaiman's book, I really do think it's the best thing to read because he's from here, he's from Asgard, and so
he's a Valkyrie.
Yeah, he grew up with these things, and he says in the book, like, there's a million different ways to tell each of these stories, literally, and they're so like disjointed and they're so all over the place. Like even when we read that part where it's like, yeah, and then Loki and Heimdall turned into seals. It's like, I didn't fucking find that anywhere. What?
Yeah.
That was not part of the like 4 places I look online and combine in my pages document, but it's all over the place.
What would you, because like I'm receiving the secondhand from you. I'm
receiving it secondhand from other people.
Yeah. So I guess I'm receiving it fourth hand from you. With what I've gathered in my life of Greek and Roman mythology is basically having a working knowledge of them allows me to see how they continue to be pervasive in society and what gets echoed and what works. What have you found in Norse mythology that feels this way to you? I mean, you brought up Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I felt like there was some like Tolkien-esque Middle Earth vibes, of course.
And if you'd ever play the goddamn Witcher like I want you to, it's all through there too.
Sure.
I think there's even that long winter happens like in the end of one of the games.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's how do I see it like in modern context?
Yeah.
Oh, just like pop culture is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, like Witcher, Game of Thrones for sure. I mean, Jesus fucking Tolkien all day.
I didn't ever see
Jesus fucking Tolkien. Yeah, I was surprised how much it was in pop culture. I mean, just Thor being comic booked is crazy. There's no Hercules the comic.
Mm-hmm.
There's a cartoon, and there's gonna be another one. Whatever.
Yeah, I think that it sort of gets lumped in with like a general like almost like old world, more so like for as like patriarchal as like Greek mythology is, like there's like a real like machismo to
This is
Norse mythology,
mega toxic masculinity.
and I feel like that is something that gets harkened back to, like as we sit here in Jake's apartment, the Dragon Wagons, the Dragon's Den, and I can look over and see he has a poster of Sin City. Not even because Jake's a huge fan of Sin City, but because it's a striking poster that looks good on his gray wall. And it's like that world, like that Frank Miller created, that was like so like manliness. Like I feel like that is Norse mythology in a nutshell. Is that?
Yeah, and it is funny because you get into some of those tales of like Freya, and you feel like there is a little bit of agency there, but then it just gets dropped. It's like, but those lady stories aren't that It's kind of funny because she fucked a bunch of dwarves, but let's move on.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, it's not it was very disappointing to be like, oh, what happened to like Frey and all of them, and then to go, oh, they don't care.
Yeah, I like to imagine because Freya was quite powerful, and it's
She had the hawk coat. I think she flew away.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, flew away with her.
Maybe she made like a Glinda bubble and like took all the goddesses away with her.
Yes, and she threw a house on Loki.
Yeah.
But I again, I highly recommend Norse Mythology by Neil Gaiman. Listen, I even really recommend the audiobook. I own both, but the audiobook, you get to hear him say all of the names correctly. It's what a treat. If you listen to me, butcher everything. And it's just, yeah, it really colors things in such a fun and like, what is the word I'm looking for?
I don't
Accessible
know.
way.
Accessible.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, that word was inaccessible to me at the moment.
There we go.
Tink.
Oh, hey, well, wow, a god in my store. It's good to see you.
I am Valdir, son of Odin.
Well, nice to meet you. This is my shop. As you can see, I'm a very accomplished cobbler. I have so many shoes here. All of the finest quality leather. What are you looking for today?
Leather.
Whoa, you got leather. Okay. Just like, okay, so I have this beautiful.
All the leather.
I you can't mean all the leather.
Give me all the leather you have ever had.
I'm. So what? I thought, like, what are you gonna do with this
Mortal.
leather? Yes.
Every piece of leather scrap you've ever thrown away,
Uh-huh.
I want it.
Okay, but let me ask, what are you gonna do with this?
Why is it your business, mortal?
Because
I'm gonna stick it in the mouth. I'm gonna stick it in the mouth of a wolf.
All right.
I'm gonna stick my whole foot in the mouth of a wolf.
If you're gonna do, so you're looking for a shoe then?
I want a shoe with all of the leather.
Oh, I have to show you something then. I've had this little pet project for a while. Come on over.
Okay.
You see, there's this giant thing covered in this velvet cloth over here.
Yes.
Prepare to feast your eyes on the pinnacle.
Don't say feast. My dad is going to be feasted on one day. Don't say feast.
All right, prepare to look at.
Don't say look. It sounds like Loki.
Prepare to
Don't say it.
Witness
Don't say it.
the most beautiful singular boot I have ever created.
Show me.
Made out of all the leather ever.
So before I came here, you already had the thing I wanted.
Well, yeah, I was just wondering because I sell shoes. I don't sell just like leather by the scrap. I use every piece of leather. Let me show you. Ooh.
He's got a bit of a heel.
It's got more than a bit of a heel. It is full on platform. It has a 13-inch heel. It has like studs and eyelets. And,
Stop. Stop.
What?
I don't want to live one more second without this on my foot.
All right. Will that be cash or plastic?
It will be your life if you do not give me all the leather.
You drive a hard bargain. How about a kiss on the cheek? Thank you. Well, Sarah, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for taking the time to research and learn about Norse mythology and regale it to me. I
can't wait to pick an easier subject next time.
I really like I don't know if I could have done a better job because I just think it's really dense and it's dense and sparse at the same time.
Yes.
And that I knew nothing about it, and I feel like I'm walking away from this knowing a lot about it.
Oh, good. Yeah, you know.
I don't think I'll memorize any of the names for the most part.
Same.
Because they all sound very similar. Like I'm still not sure about Frigg and Frigga and Freya.
Frigg and Frigga are the same person. Freya might be the same person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But thank you, and I look forward to learning more mythologies with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thanks for being patient with me, guys. This was my first go at this. I feel like I have a system now, which is right in time for me to hand the reins back over to our beautiful Paul Bianchi.
Oh, so you can forget how you put things together.
Yes. It was fun to do. It definitely made me feel like panicked, like, your final presentation in high school. Like, here's my English project. Here's my final. But it was like having a final every other week.
I made a lot of posters in high school.
I should have for this.
Yeah.
Especially like in the earlier episodes when you're like, oh my God, who are these people? You need some visual cues. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'm going to go back to being the idiot, so that'll be fun. You weren't much of an idiot.
I was sort of an idiot.
No one does idiot better than me. I'm real dumb.
So yeah, till next time, thank you, Mythfits, and again, please continue to rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, and just take care of yourselves, and we love you.
We love you. Night night.
Hey everyone, Jake Lloyd here.
Along with Paul Bianchi.
And Alexandra Hoy.
Hey, we all host different shows on Dragon Wagon Radio.
That's true, but we're not here to talk about any of those.
Not at all. We are here to talk about Dungeons and Dragon Wagon,
in which us podcasters from Dragon Wagon Radio venture into a mythical land for a D&D inspired role-playing game.
Alexandra and I are joined by Matt Hinksman and a very special guest of quest for each chapter of an epic saga in which we must take on the roles of half-orcs, dark elves, and more as we fight our way through a fantastical land of peril, drama, and often hilarity.
All of which is controlled by me, the Dungeon Master, and the players' chance rolls of the die.
And our show is for everyone. Even if you don't play role-playing games, you'll love D&DW.
That's right. Our game sessions are highly edited, easy to follow, sound designed from top to bottom, and completely immersive.
Yeah, our episodes sound more like a well-produced radio drama than an RPG show.
So what are you waiting for? Join the adventure on Dungeons and Dragon Wagon at dndwpod.com or wherever you find great podcasts.
It's Dragon Wagon.